Welcome to After the Last Dog, a co hosted podcast for grooming and pet care business owners who are wearing all the hats and still trying to make the business run smoother behind the scenes. I'm Jennifer Opel. My episodes address the teams and training perspective.
And I'm Dara. I bring the owner's perspective. We're your hosts. Every week, we will both share an episode to the same business challenge, what's happening, why it keeps happening, and a solution for what you can do next. What hat are you wearing right now? Welcome to After the Last Dog. I am Dara Forleo, and I have spent years working with groomers and pet care business owners, and I keep noticing the same problems over and over and over again. After the Last Dog is where we talk about the business side of grooming after those appointments are done. Each episode looks at one problem area I see in grooming, what may be causing it, and one small solution you can use in your business this week. Today's episode is about a question I hear from a lot of grooming owners. Why am I booked but still not getting ahead? This is one that can really be confusing because from the outside, things look great. The schedule's full, you're not sitting around waiting for work, and it would make sense to think if we're so booked, the business should be doing well, right? But then you look at your bank account and you realize you still haven't paid yourself. You still haven't paid yourself what you thought you would, and there are still bills to be paid. So, okay, the question hits. How are we this busy and I'm not still ahead? That is what we are talking about today. Being booked means you have built trust. It means people want what you offer, and that means you're in demand. But a full schedule and a healthy busy are not the same thing. So let's start with what that problem looks like. You yourself may still be grooming because your appointments bring money the business depends on. And yet, even with all the work you do not feel like the business is creating enough breathing room financially for you. You're bringing in money, but it disappears fast. You're working hard, but still watching expenses closely. You're saying yes to a lot of appointments, but still wondering, why is this month so tight? This is a hard place to be because it makes you question yourself. And you might be thinking, am I doing something wrong? Is this just what owning a grooming business is like? Maybe I need more clients. Maybe I need to groom more dogs. Maybe I need to hire one more person. Maybe I need to add a service. The problem is not that the business needs to get busier. The problem is the business is already busy, but the money is not being protected. When you're booked but not getting ahead, the first thought is always going to be we need more. More clients, more dogs, more services, more staff, more hours, more days open, more promotions, more add ons, more everything. And I totally understand why. Because when money feels tight, more appointments feel like the safest answer. Adding something feels like the safest answer. Even if the schedule is full, maybe adding another dog will help. If the day's too tight, we can squeeze one more in. If the week is booked, we can open up another slot. If the team is burning out, I'll just hire someone else. But more is not the fix. More just creates more wear on the business. It creates more laundry. It creates more product use, more cleanup, more payroll pressures, more client communication, more chances for mistakes, more business owner decisions, and more tired staff. And if the pricing or timing is already off, more volume can actually make you feel more trapped because now the business is busier and it is not any stronger. This is why the problem can feel so frustrating. You did what business owners are told to do. You filled the schedule, and yet the business still feels tight. So instead of asking, how do I get more scheduled, more bookings? Today, we are asking the question, is the work we're already doing actually supporting the business? So, what is happening with that full schedule is the work is actually being underpriced. It's being undertimed, and it could potentially be dependent too much on you as the owner grooming. So let's take those one at a time. First, the work being underpriced. This does not mean that all your pricing is off or wrong. It means certain services, coat types, sizes, breeds, client situations, some of these things are taking more from the business than they are giving back in time. A doodle that's always matted, a senior dog that needs an extra pair of hands, a large dog booked in a small dog time slot, a bath dog that uses more product and drying time and de-shedding time than expected, a client who is just needing a little extra TLC communication because they want to talk to the owner. If the price does not reflect the work overall, the schedule can be full and still not create enough margin. This means this actually means you're pricing the haircut, not the overall service. So, second, the work may be undertimed, and this is a huge one. A groom may technically fit on the schedule, but if it's pushing everyone behind, that creates stress, delayed pickups, creates a forced cleanup into unpaid time. The business ends up paying for that and taking a hit, and not always in a line item that you can see, right? You might not see this because you're not processing it at that time, but you feel it. You feel it in the rushing, in the skipped breaks or the skipped lunch, in a team member staying late. You feel it in yourself jumping in. And third, the work may be way too dependent on you. This is where the numbers and your energy start telling the same story. Your appointments may bring in strong money, but if the business only feels financially safe when you are grooming, then the business is not ever going to be getting ahead. It is staying dependent on you. That does not mean you have to stop grooming. It means your grooming income has to be looked at openly and honestly. Because if the business needs your hands in the schedule every day just to make the numbers work, then being booked will always feel like pressure instead of the progress you are needing to make. So here's today's business solution. Booked is not the same as ahead. A book schedule tells you there is demand. You know there's demand. It does not automatically tell you that the business is healthy. To know that, you need to look at what the schedule is actually producing. And that is not just how full it is. This is not about becoming obsessed with your numbers. This is about giving yourself a bigger picture of what the business looks like. Because when you only look at the schedule, the business can look successful while you're still squeezing out every dime from it, right? So this week, I want you to look at one full day, and ask yourself 3 questions. What did this bring in the business? So look at the total sales for that day. Grooming services, baths, all your retail, whatever it is that you have bringing in. What was the number that came in? And just get that number. What did the day require? Now you got to look at the cost of the day. How much does it cost you to run your business every day? Because if you don't know that cost, that could be what we're looking for in this big picture, right? Your payroll, your hours, products, laundry, extra time, late stay, redo work, whatever it is, anything like that. You have to know how much it costs you to operate your business, the full amount of money it takes to run the business from the day. And that includes your overhead as well. This does not have to be perfect. It can be a guesstimate, but you should know how much it costs to run the business every day. And you should know down to the hour how much it costs to run it when the business is open, and compare that to how much income was generated for the day. You are not building a financial report. That's not what this is. You are only noticing the reality of the day. And last, what did this leave behind? After the income, after how much was taken out, after the work was done, when you have the cost of the day, did the day leave enough money, energy, space, all of that to support the business? Or did it leave everyone tired, you underpaid or unpaid, and the business no further ahead? That That third question is the most important one and the hardest one to answer, because a day can bring in money and look great and still not leave enough in the account. That is what many owners are coming up against. That's what they come up against. The money came in, but it did not stay in long enough to help. So, let's use a simple example for a fix. Imagine a salon has a fully booked Friday, right? Your day is great. Every slot is filled on paper. It looks fantastic. Great dogs coming in. But then when you take a closer look at the end of the day, you start noticing some things. Two dogs took longer than their scheduled time. One dog should have had an extra handling fee, but no one charged that. One large bath dog took a lot longer to dry and de-shed than expected. A groomer stayed late, having been behind, causing a late pickup. You had to jump in 2 or 3 times to help finish dogs. Cleaning happened fast and not as thorough as usual, and it was long after closing hours. And one client needed some extra back and forth messages about the matting of their doodle that took longer to groom. And there you have it. Your day was full. The team worked hard. Money came in, but the business did not really get ahead. And why is that? Because the schedule was full, but the work was not priced and timed to match the reality of the day. A full schedule can hide a lot. It hides underpricing, messy timing, unpaid owner labor. It hides services that are no longer fitting the business needs. It hides clients who take more time than the appointment shows. And when all of that is hidden, the owner is left sitting thinking to themselves, why am I working this hard and still not getting ahead? The answer? Your schedule is being measured by being busy. And now that you know this, now you are going to start measuring what the day leaves behind instead. Here is your simple action for this week. Pick one book day from the last 2 weeks. Choose a normal day, not anything crazy, and then do a quick booked but not ahead check, right? Write down total money in. How much did the day bring in? Extra time. Where did appointments run over? Where did staff stay late or your team stay late? Where did you have to jump in? And then missed charges. Were there any missed matting handling, extra handling, size, coat condition, late pickup, extra work that should have been charged, whatever that looked like? And owner labor. Where did the business rely on you to save the day? Now, what needs to change? Pick one adjustment. Maybe a service that needs more time, a certain breed needs a price review. The team needs a stronger rule for when and how to add additional fees at checkout. Maybe you need to stop squeezing one extra dog into the day that is already full. Maybe your help needs to be noticed as a cost, not treated as a free service to the business. That is your reset solution. You are not trying to solve all the pricing problems today. You are trying to stop using booked as the sign that things are okay, because a booked day should do more than fill the calendar. It should support your business. Here is a reflection question for you. Where is your schedule full, but the business is not being protected? Is it a certain service, a certain breed of dog, a client, a certain day of the week, a certain place where you keep jumping in and not looking at it as time spent? This is where you start looking, because once you can see the pattern, you can make a better decision. And when you start making better decisions, the business starts to feel less tight. That's it for today's episode on After the Last Dog. But before you move on to the next thing, take 1 minute and ask yourself, where is the same problem showing up in my business? Where are you booked, busy, and trusted, but still not feeling ahead? You do not have to fix everything today. Not today. Start with one number, one service, one scheduled pattern, and take it from there, right? For today, use the booked but not ahead check and look at one full day and ask, what came in? What did it require? And what did it leave behind? You can read more about this week's companion blog at The Business Edge of the Sheer, where I'm going to break down how to look at a full grooming schedule and see whether it is actually helping the business move forward. The goal is not to add more dogs to an already full day. The goal is to understand whether the work you are already doing is supporting the business you have built. Pick one thing from this week's episode and try it this week. And I will see you next time on After the Last Dog.